staying with us. One thing that unites a lot of Nigerians is sports. Whenever there is a sporting game and it has to with Nigeria, another nation, you see Nigeria, that time we don't know ethnicity, we don't know tribe, we don't know religion. We are one. Our football sometimes is an example of how united our nation can be. But we could be divided at some point also when this same phenomenon is used in the wrong way. And there are reasons why Nigerians are now probing and asking questions. Tonight we turn to what has become a growing controversy surrounding the reported mismanagement of FIFA's 1.2 million development fund meant for stadium and grassroots sports projects in Nigeria. There are now questions emerging about the transparency of the disbursements, the quality of the completed works, and the broader accountability, framework guiding sports administration in the country. Tonight, joining me to provide answers and also to assess what has become a major factor tool for development in Nigeria sport is the National Sports Commission Chairman, Mr. Shehu Dikko, is live for us here in our studio. Thank you so much, Ili, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, first, if I was not doing this, probably, and if my parents were very fair to me, and maybe I could have been a very good footballer. Even my younger brother played good football when he was in secondary school. Football is something I'm very passionate about. What are your hopes? Are we going to qualify for the World Cup?
Well, of course, we believe we have a second chance now. You know, when we assume responsibility of sports in Nigeria, the National Sports Commission, roughly 1 year ago, exactly, around that, myself and my Director General, you know, and the others, we decided to pull together the NFF, bring everybody on the table, the players. At that time, when we came on board, the qualification is practically in jeopardy, lost. Everybody have lost hope. We have only 3 points out of 12, out of 4 games, only 3 points on the table. But we were able to pull together and said, what can we do? Let's see how we can rescue this. And thank God, we are able now, with the work we have done collectively, to be able to pull off 14 points out of 18. And that has been able to take us to the playoffs. And the players now understood that it's a second chance. So everybody now is eyes on the ball. And we are not leaving, we are doing all that we have to do from our position as a government to provide the enablers to make sure that the team are able to deliver these performances. And for the last performance against Benin Republic, 4-0. So we are hoping to get the players to take that kind of mentality to the next game. And of course, the president is, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is quite interested and 101% behind all the work we are doing to make sure everything is done. So we believe we are going to qualify, inshallah.
There is an Osimhen in all of us now. That guy literally put the whole nation on his own back, and you could see the way he was inspiring his colleagues and that's the Nigerian spirit that we're talking about.
I can tell you, forget what you see outside the pitch. After every game, if the team didn't do the right thing, Osimhen we have to manage him at the dressing room because he's always passionate about it. You want to push everybody to deliver. He wants everybody to play the way he plays, with the heart, with the mind, with everything they got, regardless whether they got injured or not, to be able to deliver. So we hope that he's a good positive to the team. And even if you look at the qualification, it's basically all the games that Osimhen didn't play. Those are the games that we had the problems.
And interestingly, we have an Arokodare now, a Wolves player. I hated the fact that he scored against Chelsea, but he's still our boy. We love him.
We need to have more people, more competition in the team.
But I particularly love his spirit, and a few others who are doing very well. The Lookmans of
Everybody's doing very well.
Fantastic.
I tell you, the players love it more than we do.
I just pray that we make it to the World Cup. It will be very painful if we don't.
Yeah, it will be very, very painful. Even now with the work that we have done so far to be able to rescue the situation and get us back on track to be able to have a chance with the playoffs. So I can tell you, after the Benin match in Uyo, immediately after the match, while the team celebrated for a few minutes on the pitch, we went straight to a meeting. The NFF, ourselves, the players, okay, what do you do now? What is the strategies? What is it that need to be put in place to be able to make sure that we get the right result in the playoffs? You know, and the most difficult playoffs now is to play the next 2 games, which is in Morocco next month, because we are likely to play 3 games in the playoffs. If we are successful, inshallah we would. And each game is a final. So for every game in the playoffs, we have to treat it as we are playing a final match, because those games, there's no room for error. It's either you win or you bust.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of mentality we'll take it there.
Yeah, I see a lot of President Bola Tinubu, particularly went off course in terms of organization or the structure of sport administration in Nigeria. Who can ever imagine that there won't be anything like sports ministry in this country? So there is a National Sports Commission. And I'd like you to talk us through, but we need to clear the air on a very major issue. The $1.2 million. Clarify for us, Mr. Dikko, tonight.
Well,
did we collect the money? When did we collect the money? Did we collect the money in full? What did we use it for?
No. That is where people are all getting it wrong. No one collected the money. I'm not here to defend the NFF. They can defend themselves, but I'm the leader of sports in Nigeria. And so if I see things that, because what is happening with the NFL happens to the entire sports, in the sports ecosystem. And so we need to put the right situation in front of the people, so people understand how these things work. So my position as the chairman, I have to defend the system and make sure that the right things are done and also the right things are put in place. Secondly, I can tell you that I was the first person to deliver the FIFA project in Nigeria, 2004. I was the first person to do the FIFA goal project in Nigeria. I was the FIFA project manager in Nigeria, so I understand how this thing works. At present, I am a member of the FIFA Stakeholders Committee, one of the powerful committee in FIFA, so I know how FIFA works. So nobody collected the money because FIFA managed their projects directly. The job of the NFF in this kind of structure is to provide the land and to say this is what we want. At the end of the day, it is FIFA now that will appoint their consultant, that will go through the process, that will appoint their contractor, that will pay the contractor direct to deliver what they agree for him to deliver, the contractor to deliver within the specifications. That is how it works. For this project, for example, you know, it's not $1.19 million of today that we are talking about. This project, if you look at the timelines, this project was first approved, the Kebbi project in 2015. That was when the NFF decided they want to do this project, and then I was even part of the NFF at that time anyway. And the procurement process started in 2016. So what is the value of dollar in 2016, for example? $1.2 million at that time will not give you more than 300 million naira. And that was the value of the project that is to be delivered. That was the specifications. So there were delays in getting the land sorted, the land papers and everything. The project, the foundation laying ceremony of the project and the contract signing was only done in 2020. And before the project is signed, there was a public tender, public procurement, land to the Nigerian laws. It was published, advertised, people competed, and FIFA selected the contractor that is doing the job. The contractor that does this job in Kebbi is one of the biggest sporting infrastructure contractors in Nigeria. The same stadium we are now happy, for example, the latest one that was done in Abuja, the same contractor did it.
But that's an AstroTurf, isn't it?
No, the whole stadium, yeah, the AstroTurf. Even the one in Kebbi is AstroTurf. It's not grass. It's AstroTurf. So how much does AstroTurf cost?
What is the costing for a stadium of that size?
That's right.
The picture that we saw, that Kebbi picture, and it was made in comparison. What really raised this public curiosity is a side-by-side comparison with something that they said happened in Kenya.
Did you see anywhere people say they did that one in Kenya? People just take a picture online and put it so that they can just embarrass
But why does that stadium look uncompleted?
No,
but it's been delivered in 2023.
That was what it was meant to be delivered as the phase one, for that $1.2 million, which as at the time the contract was awarded, it was in 2020 was 400 million naira. That was the exchange rate, because FIFA doesn't go to black market to change money. They pay the money to CBN, and CBN will change it to the official rate and pay the contractor. And the NFF, the way FIFA works, NFF don't see this developmental money for this infrastructure. It's paid direct to the contractors. It's not NFF that will collect the money and go and decide. It is FIFA that follow up through the project. The project was eventually commissioned when? In 2022, 2023. FIFA were here in 2023. If you go to their website, you'll see the YouTube video. It's on YouTube. FIFA celebrated the project because that's exactly the specification and what is to be delivered. And compare it and see. Is that stadium worth more than 400 million naira? But that was the exchange rate at that time. That was the dollar. That was the naira value of the work that was done. So something that FIFA celebrated and they were happy about. I don't know why at this moment, it's 2025, that somebody just picked a picture and started talking and everything, and the whole Nigeria, including politicians, get into it without even asking questions to know what it is, and abusing the past leaders. Now all of a sudden it has become something that is running down the entire sports sector. So the project already have a timeline, have a process, and have a footprint on the internet. So people should check it out and see. But what I want telling people that it's FIFA project and it's only FIFA. If FIFA today come out and say, no, what we decide to do is not what was done, or we are not happy with what was done, they wouldn't have been doing the second one they are doing in Abuja here. Remember, even this year, we launched a $5 million project by FIFA at the stadium. They are building a hostel and about 3 pitches again. The way FIFA works, if the project you are doing today is not satisfactory and it's not certified, they will not move to the next one. They will not give you more money again until we rectify the one you have done. So we have to just understand how these things are done. It is FIFA that do their project, that appoint the contractor, appoint the consultant, appoint everybody. And so I don't think we should be crying more than the brief, because they have not come to say the project is not what that's done. Somebody picked a stadium in Kenya that was built for almost $30 million or more than that, and compared and said, oh, see what they did. That stadium looked like a $1.2 million stadium. And that has nothing to do with FIFA. It's a government stadium that they renovated and what have you. And just before you know it, our big political leaders, everybody is getting involved and getting into it. And how does that help the sports sector?
House of Rep has begun an investigation into the matter. But there are history to this.
The records are, I know, I follow the House of Rep issue. It's the same thing, because somebody must be misled. Think that, oh, there's something here. I know even the House resolution, when the resolution was made, the House stepped it down and asked that the Committee of Sports should speak with the relevant NFF, everybody, to get the details and come back to them. So there's no any investigation.
So scrutinizing the pictures, right? Yeah. We know that picture from Nigeria is Kebbi FIFA project. Yeah. The one from Kenya is Kenya's own funded government project to host AFCON. That is
so to help host.
Yeah, but what is of concern here is how the utilization of the $1.2 million and other FIFA projects. And there are those who are making, they are pointing to issues of the past, 2019, for example, when the ICPC sealed the residents,
including my own.
Over investigation of there's always a cloud around how NFF, how sports administrators spend money. And whether or not there is accountability, whether you can come forward and say, this is how the monies were spent, and all of that.
All those things the ICPC did, everybody did, is politically motivated, have nothing to do with FIFA or anything. At the end of the day, there are court judgments on that. ICPC lost the case. I can share the court judgments with you. At the end of the day, in the case of my own, ICPC, the court even asked ICPC to pay me compensation. Because you can't come, if I live in a house in 2007, for example, and I go to NFF in 2015, how does that got to do with the work you are doing? So those ones are during the kind of political issues where people are
misled. Is there transparency and accountability in the funding that FIFA, NFF, or the Sports Commission gets? For example, according to what Sunday Olise said, he said between 2015 and 2025, that the NFF has received about $25 million from FIFA and CAF.
Peter Obi said between 2013 to 2025. Everybody is budgeting figures.
What are the real figures?
I can't say the figures now because I'm not in the NFF, but the only thing you could do, just go to FIFA website. Go to Nigerian Football Federation page. You will see an audited account of the NFF there. And then you follow the accounts there. Who are the external auditors of the NFF? It was PwC. Every year they have to audit the NFF. The way FIFA works, if you don't submit your audited account for the year, certified by the auditor that the account has been certified clean, you don't get any money. And the way Nigeria works, like, we have a TSA, right? Since they started the TSA, there is a dedicated account open at the CBN for FIFA money, for CAF money, and everything as such. So all FIFA money goes to that account. And it's their responsibility to come and audit their account. The only way anybody will start crying about FIFA, CAF, or whatever money is when the owner of the money who will come and audit their money and say there are issues here. Then at that point, FIFA will take the steps. What is the step they take? They will ban the country, they will ban the people involved, and then they will, if they don't get the headway, they will recommend that the agency should get into it.
Can you say for sure and convincingly tonight to Nigerians that the money is meant for that stadium is not mismanaged?
Absolutely, it's not.
That stadium is 100% completed?
No, it's in phases. That's the phase one. The phase one was $1.1 million. $1.1 million
at the rate of 400 million naira at the time. And there were no variation even despite COVID issues.
That is the reason why it's top at that. Because the COVID slowed down the project. Initially, the project was about 300 million in 2016. I tell you, when they did the calculation, $1.2 million was about 300 million naira. As at 2020, it was 400 million naira. Even if you Google the newspaper, you see it there. FIFA awards 400 million naira contract in 2020. It's there. So somebody can now wake up and say $1.2 million of today, 2015, which is like almost 2 billion. No, you can't compare because they are not the same type. What you can buy with 400 million naira dollar you could buy in 2020 instead of 400 million naira dollar you can buy today. What is 400 million naira in dollars today?
So when you say that stadium is in phase, what is the next phase?
That's the phase one. That's the phase one. No, it depends. FIFA follow what the federation what. And those stadiums are supposed to be put in where there is probably where there is not the bigger stadiums like in villages where they want to encourage development and stuff like that. That's why one was sited in Kebbi and the second one was sited in Delta State in the middle of the water, and that is the one that was even having problems, and that the contract has been terminated because the costing of that one is different because of the water issue, because you have to carry the equipment on the water to the sun and everything. So the contractor came back asking for more money from FIFA, and they said, no, we have already agreed. If you can't do it in the contract we signed, we're going to give you more money. So they terminated it. Now they want to have to, I don't know what they want to do going forward with that. But the phase one, if you check the advertisement that was made for the contract in 2020, they are doing phase one. Stand over 500 people, the pitch and the fence, and then later, it's expected that the government can continue doing the stands. You get the point? The state government can continue doing, or local government continue doing the stand until they complete to make it a proper stadium for if they want it that way. It's just supposed to be a mini stadium for the community. It's not a stadium to host any other match other than community football.
So you're now talking about the fact that FIFA is deeply involved in the execution of some of these projects for the sake of the Nigerian people. For the sake of the Nigerian people, Mr. Dikko, is it possible that the NFF, under your leadership as the NSC chairman, come clean to Nigerians and say, for the sake of transparency, we are publishing? Because Mr. Pitobi, for example, has said that some of the issues that I raised, allegations of misappropriation, is shameful and sickening. Those are his words.
I didn't want to join issues with people like that, but what he said there is what he said that was very shameful, to be honest, because you just jump into the arena. You see a story online. As a leader, you're supposed to contact the NFF, contact FIFA, get the right thing before you go and start writing what you are writing. It's not because always you want to speak to your audience that you go and comment on anything that you don't even know. 7 things he said there, if you decide to comment, it will be embarrassing, but we respect our leaders in this country, so we leave it at that. But it's not, it's totally...
But are you able to commit that, let's have some... For the sake of the Nigerian people, let the NFF put out...
I've already answered the NFF. Yeah. Look, see what is going on here. I'm not speaking for them. Yeah. I'm speaking to protect the industry that I'm leading. That look, we need to bring out the bill of quantities. That was agreed. Publish it. Put it up on your website, because they have custody of the bill of quantities. Even though it is a contract that was signed between FIFA and the contractor. NFF are only signing as a beneficiary. It is not NFF that have custody of that. I tell you, if you do this contract, The contractor here will sign contract direct to FIFA.
Yeah.
So he's responsible with the FIFA.
So are they able to yield to your advice that they should publish? Let us see it. Let Nigerians see how the money is spent, the huge amount of money. There's a lot of money.
400 million.
No, you think it's not a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the ears of a lot of Nigerians. But I hear...
Go and check how much it costs to do a synthetic pitch. Proper synthetic pitch. Forget about it's not grass you put there. Synthetic pitch. There's concrete under. There's foundation under. There's a grass. Even in those days, it costs between 200 million and 250 million to do a proper synthetic pitch. That is why today is much more than that. So if you put that synthetic pitch, assuming it's 250 million, and you do 150 million to do the fence and to do the stand and everything.
But by the way, why did our girls play on AstroTurf? Some of them are complaining that these girls are professional.
Yeah, because it's part of what we're trying to change in Nigeria. Because most of our stadiums, we keep doing AstroTurf. You get the point. Most of the reason why even most of the stadiums...
But it's a comment on the sport administrators to guide on the kind of turf. Because they get injured and go back to their clubs.
Part of the reforms we are doing, part of the amendments we are doing with the Sports Commission bill is to create an agency, National Sports Infrastructure Development and Management Agency. That will be putting the guidelines of how the infrastructures you can put, what is the minimum specification aligned to the FIFA and CAF, and they supervise it. Otherwise, that stadium will not be certified to host any event.
I hear that you're planning to put stadium in 6 geopolitical zones, and I'm curious to know how you're performing. I have a lot of questions on what you have tagged the Renewed Hope Initiative for Nigerian Sports Economy. You call it economy because yes, it's a big economy, one of the biggest uniting economy in the United Kingdom. For example,
economy, creating jobs, creating people, making people.
But we'll go on a break, and we would like to ask you some tough questions on whether or not, under your leadership, since being appointed by President Bola Tinubu, if you have failed or if you have passed. Those questions will be coming after this break, everyone.
But I think we can say what we have done.
Mr. Dikko is still speaking. Shehu Dikko, who is the chairman of the National Sports Commission, has been speaking with us on the state of sport economy, that he says, and accountability in some of the funding to the projects concerning sports in Nigeria. Mr. Dikko, give us an understanding of your intention of situating 6 stadiums. Where is the money coming from? 6 geopolitical zones. And where will you be situating them? Where's the money coming from?
No, we are not building these stadiums. We said we are going to work with...
You said you are planning to...
We are going to work with the stakeholders. We already have stadiums all over the country. It's just to work to see how do you upgrade them to the level where they are the best that they could be. So we have to work with the relevant stakeholders. Even, for example, now, we said we want to have at least 1 stadium in each zone of the country that is FIFA certified, that can host any competition. Like that.
Today is only Uyo and Abuja that can host games, isn't it?
Yeah, Abuja.
Can Abuja host games?
Abuja the pitch needs to be sorted because the pitch is. We need to put a new pitch there.
But I thought Dangote's committee some time ago, they intervened.
Well, that was 2022, and what happened with that? At that time I think at that time they were doing the World Cup in Qatar. So when Dangote was doing there, he put $1 million to put the pitch. And the people said, okay, we should go to Qatar and get the same grass they are putting in Qatar, which could be good. And they came and planted the same grass that was used in the Qatar World Cup here. But at the end of the day, that grass that was put in there, from what we know now, that grass is made for salty water. To grow better on salty water. And we don't have salty water here. So to manage it here to grow would be a bit difficult. That's why you can see it always damaging. Yeah. So the way to
at the moment, the way only Uyo
the way to do it is to take the sand, take everything to the lab, and to test the water, and now decide the kind of grass you put. And we have done that process now. We have just gotten the no objection certificate from the BPP to continue with the project. Because we brought experts from Europe, they took the sand, they took the water, took it to lab in Europe, tested it, and now we know the kind of grass that will fit there. And we're even going hybrid, which is the best that you can have, so that Abuja will be the best of the stadium. So that is being sorted.
So I was asking, in Nigeria today, the only FIFA certified
No, Abuja is certified.
Yeah, but I mean the pitch.
But we don't play there because the pitch has issue.
So it's only Uyo now that can host games.
Yeah, because that is the reason why now we say, okay, let's work with the state governments. For example, we have Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna, right? Domicile in Kaduna. We use it only once as a national body or what have you, twice, 3 times a year. So why not we partner with the state government, give them back their stadium, let them invest to fix it. Let's make sure how we manage it. The same way Uyo is managing their stadium, giving it to experts to manage. They only pay fees to do it because in their state. Most of the games being played in Uyo is not for Uyo people that are playing it. People go from everywhere to play. So every state now we work with them to see how we can fix the stadium. We have already started with the Kaduna state government. We have given them the stadium. The governor have already awarded a very contract for it. It's already been demolished. Part of it has been demolished, and they are fixing it now to be the best. Yeah. So you see, if you do that, we have already got the one in the northwest. We are working with the Oyo state government also to do the same structure with the Bafemi Awolowo Stadium as well. President said we should give them, we should invest, we should manage it. But the contract we sign with them is that we are giving you, but the federal government have perpetual right to use it, and we have stepping rights. If you don't maintain it, you don't make it work well, we can take our stadium back. So Bauchi too, we are doing the same. We will do the same thing with the Bauchi state government.
There is a national stadium in Lagos. Yeah, is in an irreparable shape.
No. We are already that one. The process has been completed to give it to the private sector to invest in it.
Which
the ICRC have already issued the no objection certificate. That is the Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission to do that. So we are working to hand it over to the private sector, who they will invest a little money to put it back, and then also work with us to develop the sports city we are talking about. Because it's not just about repairing the stadium. You have to create the economic infrastructures around it that will ensure that it keeps 24 hours.
So quickly, because of our time, I see what you have done. And I mean, I play some kind of football, and I play handball, and I tried my hands in some hardball like baseball when I was in secondary school. That was because I attended a secondary school that was very sports sensitive. But look at sports, school sports these days in Nigeria is literally dead. Part of your plan, your strategic vision objective, institutional repositioning, private sector engagement, federation restructuring, grassroots sport is one area that give it to America, give it to United Kingdom. And when Blatter in his own country, how some of those who grew to the national team in the last 4 years in his country were those who were groomed from bottom top. Now the question is, what is happening about school sports, grassroots sport in Nigeria? What are you doing specifically in that area?
Well, if you have been following what you have done throughout the year, you will see that we have been working, as you said, to bring it back to life. And already now we have a committee that is being co-chaired between myself and the Minister of Education, my brother, Dr. Alausa, and some other experts to bring out school sports the way it should be. So they're already working on bringing out the strategies that will now, because as you said, the grassroots sport is the foundation of what we are trying to do, a hinge of school sports. So what we are trying to do is to create what we call centers of excellence. We will take one university for each zone and make it centers of excellence for sports. So we invest in that school, we put the infrastructure, we put the training facilities and everything like that to do that. We'll do the same thing to have one secondary school in each state as a center of excellence for sports as well. We'll also work with the states to create a center of excellence, to have one primary school in each local government a center of excellence. So with that, and then we now bring out back all the competitions that we can have at that level, from the primary school to the secondary schools to university games as well. So if now we identify a talent on the primary school, we can now know how to pull them and put them with those centers of excellence, and then they can grow. If they reach the level of in secondary school, they go to the centers of excellence where they have the same thing, university, the same thing. So that is the strategy we are doing to bring out the school sport the way it is. If you are following this year, we are working very closely with NUGA and everything. For the first time, we even sponsored the university students this year. They went to Germany to participate in the World University Games. And we are working very with the NUGA, with Nasega, and everybody to bring all those sports down. So we are doing so much on that.
We need to go now.
We need to have a 1 hour.
Yeah, we need to have. One of this was triggered because of the issue of validation.
Because these toxic issues now are already disclosed.
But just, we need to go now. We're totally out of time.
Yeah, sure.
How much do you think can be in return to the Nigerian economy that sports can contribute, in your estimation, when you're planning?
Yeah, what we have in this is that we should be at least being 3% of GDP.
2%?
3% minimum, and then at least we should have like 3 million people employed within the sports and this value chain, both direct, indirect, and induced. So the plan we are doing over the years, that's what we are measuring. And even now, the kind of measurement we are giving back to our central result delivery system of the government, reviewing the ministries, is we have a portal that is now capturing all this work we are doing and what kind of jobs we are putting, what kind of money is coming in, and we are going to make it public.
Shehu Dikko, thank you so much. Chairman, National Sports Commission, you should come back. Yeah, let's have 1 hour talking about sports economy. I'm very interested in sport. It's changed a lot of things in the US and the UK.
About sports in Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
We need to have
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Shehu Akimale. God bless Nigeria.